Kia ora koutou, and welcome to the latest episode of the Business Spotlight podcast. I'm Darren Gray from Darren Gray Consulting, and in conjunction with the Hutt Valley Chamber of Commerce, we are proud to bring you this podcast series aimed at shining a spotlight on the incredible businesses within our Hutt Valley community. Now, in each episode, we'll chat to one local Hutt Valley business, uncovering their unique stories, innovative practices, and the invaluable contributions they make to our region. Now, we do the podcast unedited and in one take, so you can get to meet the real people behind the business and we can have real conversation, albeit in a short time frame. So if you hear or see the odd mistake, just go with it and enjoy. So today, we're thrilled to introduce to you Jussi Luukkonen from Alicat AI Works Limited. So let's get chatting to Jussi and find out a little bit about what he does. Okay, Jussi, tell us a little bit about yourself. What is it that you do and what inspired you to get started in this business?
Well, first of all, AI came to my life as an accident because I was working as a writer, content creator, and so on and so forth. And I needed some help to proofread and polish my writing in terms of punctuation and spelling. And it was very expensive to use human proofreaders. And then a couple of years ago, I found out that, okay, ChatGPT is now available and it can be properly used. So I could then move from paying really high priced proofreaders in the AI. And little by little, people started to ask me how I do things, because it seems to be that I was doing things faster and with good quality. And I started to coach and consult people how to use AI. First ChatGPT and then other tools. And I didn't think that it would become a business. But a year ago, a young man, Cheng Yu Bai, came from China to New Zealand.
Yeah.
And he was washing dishes. And I asked him, why on earth you wash dishes when you have this huge experience in machine learning and AI? He had been working for TikTok as a senior level developer and AI expert for over 5 years in China. So we decided that, okay, let's see if we can put things together, and my experience in content creation and working with the customers and his deep machine learning and AI experience. So we combined those two, and that's how Alicat AI Works was born. And now it is a legal entity. So this year will be the year of real growth for our small little Alicat.
Nice, that's awesome. So, when in your work, who's your ideal customer? Do you think they're the kind of people that are coming and saying, "Hey, can you give us a hand to nut out this AI space?"
So our ideal customer is somebody who is curious to make his or her business to thrive better with less. So we like to work with people, mainly small and medium-sized businesses, who really want to see efficiencies, but not only savings and cutting costs, but getting more creative and innovative angle to their businesses. And we can then help to scope their needs and build those AI tools that usually are not even expensive. They are quite straightforward to implement if you know what you are doing, and if you don't hit your toe to the big boulder that usually in companies is called IT.
Right. So one of the things, and I've seen you talk about AI a couple of times in a couple of presentations, and your enthusiasm behind it is just awesome. But what buzzes you out about what you do?
Because it releases your creativity. It gives you the opportunity to tap into your own creativity and reduce time for those mundane things. Like, for example, when I'm now researching for an article I'm writing or novel I'm writing, I can do the research in seconds or minutes that usually previously took me days or even weeks to get, the material.
Right.
So I can now think when AI can provide me the material what I'm going to use when I'm thinking. So
Right. So
it
it's kind of like
releases.
a bit of a guide on the side.
Exactly. It is somebody I can, like, for example, when I write a scene for a novel, I can then ask AI to spot things that I haven't kind of
Uh,
realized. And then it is like a person I'm talking with who has the experience, because I have obviously quite a few AI tools at my disposal. So I can train those AI bots of mine to really understand what I'm going to do, how I want to do it, with what information I need to continue, so that they become very personalized
right.
tools for me. But they don't hallucinate. They don't, feed me with shit. But they give me exact answers when I need them. For example,
Right.
when I want to write in British English, I have an AI bot that is very experienced in British English from Shakespeare on, and that gives me peace of mind so that I can focus on content instead of formatting text and browsing dictionaries or other sources. So
Yeah, so it's really leaning into your skill set and your own superpowers. So what
yeah,
do you think in terms of business owners? And I've heard you talk about this a couple of times, but what is important as business owners, and I suppose actually, in fact, anybody really, that we really understand in the world of AI? Because it's fast moving, eh?
well, that's the optical illusion.
Oh,
uh,
okay.
it is not so fast moving. The large language models, they when they were publicly available since ChatGPT 3, uh, they just have become more efficient, better, less hallucinative, things like that. But it's what has been moving fast is those blurry, convoluted ways of implementing them,
Mm,
and then it creates this very, very hazy feeling that, okay, things are moving so fast. They are not moving so fast, but they are just getting better. And the thing that we need to remember, and if you are there looking at this and you are a business owner, first think about the governance. How do you want to govern? How do you want to make sure that AI works for your business in a way you want, instead of getting uh, paying thousands of dollars for subscription fees for shit?
right.
And then the second thing is, you ask, how do I use as a business owner for my own productivity and for my own strategy? Because then, if you know how to govern the things, how you use yourself as your own productivity and efficiencies, how you strategize it, then you can start to implement it. And implementation means that you take your team with you and you
Mm,
make sure that everybody is using AI in the context of your business in a way that is most efficient and fun. Otherwise becomes a burden, and people say, sorry, my friends, fuck off.
So, in terms of a newbie, I'm hearing sort of, I think what I heard you say then was strategic thinking. You got to think
Yeah,
strategically. It's not
yeah,
just about getting a whole lot of tools and implementing
yeah,
them and just doing stuff with them. And I guess
yeah.
that was one of the things, is that as a newbie I'm starting to find my way around it. I'm finding it can help in certain ways, and I feel like I'm only dipping my toes around it. But is there a and you know a little bit about what I do, but is there, how do you start? Like what's most helpful to me as a solopreneur? Or do you think that's the critical bit about being strategic about it?
Well, the first thing I would do if I were an entrepreneur or solopreneur is to go open AI's website and
Right.
look what is available there. Don't go to Google, don't go to Microsoft, don't go to any other those big boys, because they want to get your money.
Right.
If you want to get awareness, if you want to understand what AI is and can do and what may come from there,
Yep.
open AI at the moment is a brilliant way of looking at it, because they started the whole game and they
Right.
have now set of tools for people to use for free.
Right.
And That's the first thing you do. Then you can start, when you understand that the basics, when you understand what AI is and what it does and what it requires from you in terms to work for you, then you can start to think, okay, am I Microsoft house? Am I
Right.
Google house? Am I Apple house? And then you can start to select those tools and platforms accordingly. But first learn the basics
Right.
and not jump to the paid subscription fee based things and have 15 different platforms, and then you just pay, like one entrepreneur paid, I think, over $2,000 a year for platforms that didn't deliver anything for him. And when I
Yeah.
looked at those platforms, they were all connected just APIs to open AI's resources. And when I showed that he could do everything for free, he was like, "Oh my goodness, I've been just fooled." Yeah, I said, "No, you have not been fooled. You just didn't. You were not aware of
Yeah.
what it really is." So that would my advice.
That's really cool, because I think my biggest surprise myself was I thought I needed a paid subscription, and I still haven't got a paid subscription. There's still a lot of stuff that I can do for free, and I did exactly what you were talking about one day, is going, oh, I'm just going to have a poke around on the chat GPT bit and have a look at these apps and things, and I was really surprised at the amount of stuff that I could do there. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of myths out there. What do you think's
Oh
the
yeah.
biggest one?
The biggest one is that it takes human work away. It doesn't take,
Ah,
but it takes the routines away, and it gives freedom for people to be creative and more collaborative. That's the
yeah,
thing that follows. It's a big, and the second myth is that, it's security risk. If you
yeah.
know what you are doing, it's not security risk, because the biggest data security risk is in between the ears of the users.
Right. The old human butt. So I love talking to you about this stuff, and I always get something out of all of our conversations. But what's one thing about your business that you think might surprise people?
How easy it is and how affordable it is to apply AI, because
Nice.
they have IT people have taught people to expect exponential costs
Yep.
whenever some new technologies appear.
Yeah.
And they have also thought that it is always difficult. It doesn't need to be difficult. It doesn't need to be expensive.
Nice, nice. So there's some interesting times out there for a whole heap of different people and businesses at the moment. And I'm wondering about, as a bit of an AI guru, and I like your phrasing, you're going to have to remind me, was it local, focal, global? Did I get it
Global. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Nice. So, as an AI guru and somebody that has actually got that lens, have you got a strategy or any suggestions for those business owners at the moment that might be facing some challenging times around about now?
Well, like I said, start building your awareness,
Yeah.
because if you don't know what you don't know, you always make wrong decisions.
Right.
Don't hesitate to ask, because it is not dumb to call somebody who's been in this business and ask, what should I do?
Yeah.
Because we are there to help. I think every one of us who have been now these few years been working on AI, we are quite passionate about things, and we want to help people to understand, because we can't send you invoice until you know what you are paying for. So ask,
Mm.
build awareness, and if you have a company, like I said, make sure that you understand how to govern these things.
Yeah.
Then make sure that you know how you yourself become the poster child of AI in your organization, and then implement wisely, so that all your team members know how and why they should use these tools.
Nice. I like what you're talking about there about being, that kind of bit that comes from, I guess, being part of a community, people helping each others. Now, both of us are in the chamber, and both of us are reasonably new to the chamber. I think you joined before I did,
Mm.
but I think I've just had my first birthday of being a chamber member. How do you find being part of the local chamber of commerce help you in what you do?
Well, when I quit my job as a corporate monkey, consulting idiotic government agencies, sorry, government agencies, uh, I just fed up with meetings and meetings and meetings that didn't bring anything to the game. So I quit my job, and I didn't know what and how I build customer base.
Sure.
But I knew that I just want to be local because I was fed up in traveling. So I
Sure.
have been 10 years traveling so much that my air points covered,
Yep.
several business class trips anywhere. So I was fed up of traveling. And then I found actually Patrick. I met Patrick and then Annette, and they convinced that it's good idea to look what's happening inside chamber, because I had been in one other chamber a few years and nothing happened there. It was just,
Ah,
boring bunch of middle-aged old farts. And then I met these guys, Annette and Patrick, and I thought this is totally different kettle of fish here.
yeah.
And suddenly I had a community where I could tap into. And then, all my local customers suddenly came from this region. And I didn't need to do these, all kinds of
Yeah.
things to contact people. I just went to these amazing events and
Nice.
met people. And that's how I got the local customer base.
Yeah.
And then, because world is connected, I have my coaching customers overseas in UK, USA, some in Finland. So those are there still, but the local impact of Chamber of Commerce is unbelievable. I would
Mm.
say that every business owner in this region should join the chamber, because it is by far the best chamber of commerce in the country.
Oh, look, I'd agree, and that certainly mirrors my experience. And you get to learn and meet some amazing people, don't you? And you hear Patrick. I love when he talks about the stuff like in Petone. You don't know what's behind some of the roller doors down there. Some amazing stuff. Hey, we got to start wrapping up. But so last question: how do people contact you if they want to have a bit of a yarn?
Email me, call me, go to our website. But the most important thing is just to come to the chamber events, because I'm bloody there. I'm always the fly on the wall there. And then I quite often, my extension of my home office is California Garden Center's
Nice.
cafe. So I sit there. If you see me sitting there with my computer, even though I'm writing, I'm more than happy to have a chat.
Nice. Alrighty, well, that brings us to the end of this month's Hutt Valley Chamber of Commerce Business Spotlights. Today, we've been talking to Jussi Luukkonen from Alicat AI Works Limited about how he goes about helping clients get their heads around the world of AI. So as Jussi said, lots of places you can connect. And you're also on LinkedIn too, aren't you, Jussi?
Yeah,
So you
LinkedIn.
can also check out on LinkedIn. Jussi, thank you so much for giving us some insight into how you go about helping people understand how AI can really just help them get stuff done. So you've been
Thank you for
listening
having
to
me.
the it's
Yeah.
been great chatting. I've loved it. Excuse me. So you've been listening to the Hutt Valley Chamber of Commerce Business Spotlight podcast. Thank you for joining us, and remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Chamber's streaming channels for more fascinating insights. I'm your host, Darren Gray from Darren Gray Consulting, where I like working with people to crack into new learning and unlocking potential. Ka kite, team.